You are welcome for this broadcast. My name remains Meneni David Chidi. We'll be talking about Nigeria local content policy as regards to oil and gas industry. 2010, thereabouts, former president of Nigeria, Goodluck Jonathan, set up that policy and it had been running. What is local content policy in Nigeria? We are looking at the overview. What is local content? Local content policy is a policy made by Nigerian government. The key motive is to protect the local industries from the international or foreigners. Prior to this policy, even to tight a screwdriver in any oil and gas platform is done by white people. To clean a chair is almost done by white people. To supply tissue, paper, that they use in offices is done by white people. So almost everything in the oil and gas industry is a key source of revenue for Nigerian government. So foreigners take over the market. Government say no, let them make a policy that will help protect the indigenous, to grow the indigenous participation in the oil and gas industry. So that policy was set up. And so far, the policy have really helped a lot, I must say, even though it has some challenges, but it has helped a lot. People like us that is in the industry now is because of that policy. If not, the white people and the foreigners won't allow us to do so. So one of the good things I would say is it will help people like us to come into oil and gas business and be delivering what we can. So after the purpose of local content policy, as I said it before, the main purpose is to protect local indigenous, to protect the local markets, production lines, employment level. The key policy is, the policy is saying, in a nutshell, the policy is saying there's a class of jobs, there's a class of contract, there's class of employment company must make. They must use local material. They will employ people here in Nigeria, not foreigners. And some of that, even in the registering a foreign company that want to come into Nigeria and do business in oil and gas industry, is expected to follow this local content policy. And one of the things the content policy stated is Nigerians should be part of the company. Nigerians should have at least 51% share capital of that company. Where it didn't meet off, that company, that foreign company is not complying with local content policy. Yes, it's a very good policy, equally have its own flaws, but we'll talk about the flaws as we go. The special area we want to spend more on oil and gas today. In the oil and gas industry, the policy is general for everything in Nigeria, but for now, the government is channeling more energy in oil and gas. And that's why you see very robust regulation in oil and gas, unlike every other manufacturing and other industries. So in oil and gas, every company that is not a Nigerian, there is no indigenous company in Nigeria, the company should have at least 51% share of that company should be owned by Nigerians. That's what the content policy say. How it is being managed, that could be personal, but the company ought to have Nigerian stake in it, 51%. Then on the employment level, every employment in oil and gas industry, you should look inward first. And there are some jobs, there are some labor you cannot hire, no matter your excuse. You say you couldn't find it in Nigeria, you will not be allowed to do that. There are some of those, and there are some that you are giving room to hire as well. There are some special technical job that Nigeria may not fit in to do that. Nigerian content policy allows you to bring such specialized skill to get it done, and after it's done, the policy also encourage, if it's a running something, if it's a skill that required to be running a system, the policy equally make it in a way that the foreign skilled staff, companies should see how they transfer some knowledge to local people, to indigenous people. So that's an area of employment. Bid evaluation. Whenever a job is bidding, when you are bidding a job, whether you call it NIPES or any other oil and gas platform in Nigeria, it's expected that they should follow local content policy. One of it is to make sure that that company have its Nigerian participation in it, in the material, in labor, and all that. Prior to this time, fabrications are done outside, and they are only bringing it to Nigeria to couple. But this policy has made it, you don't come into with a fabricated product material from abroad to Nigeria. Everything fabrication must be done here in Nigeria. Also, on the prohibition of welded product, I mentioned it, anything welding should be done here in Nigeria. So on the bidding system, every organized system that run here, every job opportunity bidding system is expected that those who are managing that bid should follow the local content policy. Local content policy is manned or managed or enforced by Nigerian Local Content Development Management Board, NCDMB. They are the one that are enforcing it. They are the one that make sure that company complies to this. What are the offenses? If any company fails to comply to the local content policy, there are some penalties. Some of the key one is the company the contract is executed may be terminated, or you may pay 5% of the sum of the contracts, maybe when you have executed. But the management, the local content management board is working hand to hand. Every contract, every meaningful contract here in Nigeria, the local content management board is working with the team to make sure that the policy is being implemented, not waiting for you to bypass it and collect, penalize you. No, they want to make sure that every good or lucrative or meaningful contracts follow this, meet up the local content policy. What are the challenges in this local content policy? Some of the challenges we that in the industry have observed is some of the foreigners are still seeing some of the loopholes and using it to exploit the system. I don't want to call any country name, but if I will make mistake, if I call it a mistake to mention a company, national, I will say Indians. They have been so busy manipulating the system as much as they can. I know it's a growing process. The more Nigerian system, the more the leadership is right, I believe every other thing under will equally be right. So the challenge, one of the challenges the local content have been facing is some of the laws are not being enforced. Some of the laws are being compromised by some foreigners. If you go to some marginal field, you see the foreigners almost taking over the whole activity, and those things are done and being supported by Nigerian leadership. So that's some of the challenges local content policy have been facing. Another challenge I've equally observed is legal battle. Because of the weakness in settling a legal issue in Nigeria, because of the legal system in the country, when you have a legal issue and maybe the target is something that is not too long, before the legal system will conclude the case, the matter is obsolete. Maybe a job something and the job has been executed and things have been going on before you now get judgment. Before you get judgment, everything, the harm have been done. So that's some of the challenges facing in the local content policy is facing today. Another thing I may add is complying to local content policy. It's expected that you comply, and one of the ways to comply is to make your registration as a company. NOGI JQS. That NOGI JQS is a robust system that will help you to outline, to make sure that all these policies and the standard is being enforced. And the government, they are still improving on that, working on that. So NOGI JQS, some other one could be NCAC. And all these things, you can ask more questions. We can be your local partners. We can be your local content consultants in all this. Thank you very much for watching. Feel free to ask your question. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you. My name remains Menene David Chidi. Thank you, thank you, thank you.